EnBW still operates 2 nuclear power plants. This is one of them. But they'll both be decommissioned by 2022 at the latest. At that time, energy generation will be moved offshore. This is the man behind the change.
My job is to work with my team to set a course and to ensure we stay on it. I see myself as worker number one. I speak with colleagues, reach an understanding, then we go forward and work together to implement that.
A dream job?
A first-class job.
The energy company's CEO is given an exclusive interview to DW's Made in Germany. 20,000 subordinates are counting on Frank Mastiaux to save their jobs. The company brought him in 2.5 years ago.
You've got to live out your emotions. Show, for example, that I'm convinced that the changes aren't going to get me down and that change can also be seen as an opportunity.
Mastiaux's company is a German industrial giant. As one of the 4 major energy companies, it dominated the market for electricity for years. In 2003, its market share was still 86%, but many smaller firms have penetrated the market. Analysts say Germany's energy market has been democratized by the government's drive to develop and subsidize renewables' share in power generation. Farmers are producing wind energy. Private homes are using their roofs to produce solar energy. Many small providers are pushing prices down. By contrast, the big companies are still relying on large power plants. EnBW has just built a new coal-fired facility in Karlsruhe for 1.3 billion euros. It went online last year.
With today's electricity prices, the plant won't pay for itself.
What do you think has to happen?
We've got to create a system that financially rewards providing reliable services, because the power plants are indispensable for basic supply.
And basic supply means electricity for millions of private homes and many large companies. EnBW's traditional market is Baden-Württemberg, which is where a great deal of German industry is concentrated. There, they're worried about calm, cloudy days. Do companies come to you because they're afraid of power failures?
Absolutely. Many companies are worried about it. Some take the necessary precautions and have emergency generators. We've got business models for that.
More customer friendliness and more renewables. That's what Mastiaux wants from his workers. Nuclear energy, one of the firm's largest sources of revenue, is slowly being phased out in Germany. Of the country's 4 largest energy suppliers, EnBW generated more with nuclear power than the others. It earned them billions, but in 2012 it decommissioned 2 plants. Now, only 2 supply power. Was getting out of nuclear power generation the right decision?
I think they could have cushioned the repercussions of the reliability of supply for some measures involved in the shift to renewables by continuing to operate the nuclear power plants for a certain period.
As Germany's largest offshore wind energy provider, it relies on the power generated by Siemens turbines. The Baltic 2 wind farm is set to come online this year. It can supply 340,000 households. How do you see it? What stage of the shift to renewables are we in right now?
A large part of the conversion is behind us. And in the meantime, we're getting about 80,000 megawatts from wind and solar energy in Germany. That's almost as much as the conventional generation capacity that took over a century to build.
As Mastiaux says, worker number 1 has to lead his company through the entire shift to renewables.